Hello and welcome back. So just a quick recap. This is the second video of the series. In the first one, we looked at how to create a product backlog using ChatGPT, which is what I'm sharing with you guys now. I'm just going to do a very quick recap so that we can move on to the second part, which is the planning part. This is where we move it into a collaboration tool and get your developers and product owner involved. If you're a Scrum Master, get your Scrum Master and team involved if you're a product owner. Okay, so what we've done here is we've looked at how to get some user stories for any product that you're building. And for this one, we looked at a payment gateway, let's say for a mobile app. And here I've queried the AI tool saying, as an experienced product owner and Scrum Master, could you create user stories for delivering a payment gateway using the Visa payment? So we chose Visa because we didn't want to look at other methods of payment, and we wanted to slice it. So we take small chunks of product and we deliver it before we go on to the next. So Visa, credit card, MasterCard, for example, Google Payment, etc. So for that, the AI tool gave me some user stories that I can look at. And what I've done is I've picked the first user story, which is, as a customer, I want to securely add my Visa card detail payment gateway, and asked it to break it down into tasks. So it gave me 7 different tasks, possible tasks for this. And again, as a reminder, please don't just go ahead and think that's your backlog. You've got to make sure you validate that with your development team. But let's say you're stuck and you want to get things rolling, possibly because your team is abroad, or that they're not available, or they're not very used to planning in agile ways. This is a really good start. This is a really good way to get started. So I've picked that up and I've said, okay, lovely stuff. Thank you very much for this user story. And you can do the same for all the other user stories individually. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to focus on one user story. Now I've thought, okay, so this user story could be an epic. What are smaller user story chunks from these? So the tasks, I've asked the AI tool, this is all in the first video, I'm just going over it again. Please watch the first video if you haven't seen it yet. I've asked it to then break down those tasks, change them into user stories. So now I have user stories for each of those tasks, and then the developers or designers, UX guys, all of these lovely people can then break that down into what tasks they need to do to deliver each of those. So here I've ended up with 7 user stories for the first epic, I'm going to call it now, which was, as a customer, I want to securely add my Visa card details to a payment gateway so that I can make purchases conveniently and without re-entering my information each time. Right, so now comes the planning bit, and this is where I would go into Mural, a collaboration tool. You can choose any other collaboration tool, and here I'm just going to create a new mural. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a blank one here, and I'm going to start using some post-its. So I like the rectangle post-its, and I'm going to add green ones as user stories, and that way I can bring in this information. I'm going to copy this information from ChatGPT with its acceptance criteria and just bring it in as is into here. And you can see this becomes a very visual tool that you can use with your development team or with your product owner, and start using user story mapping, which is a great technique in terms of if you can do it to sort of sequence your work. You can do it, you can use it to obviously get people's input in terms of, okay, so we've got this user story, how do we break that down into smaller tasks? Again, I'm using the Jira colors here for the post-its so that your developers, your designers can start adding what they need to do for each of those user stories. Really powerful technique. And then this becomes this visual sort of this visualization of the work allows you and your team to estimate better, because you've sort of collaborated on this and everybody's had their input in terms of, you know, this is how much design we need to do for the interface, this is how much work we need to do for the back end, this is how much we need to set up the, you know, the environments, etc., and of course the development work. It just so much easier when you can visualize what it is that you guys are doing, who's doing it, and then you can start using things like planning poker, any other estimation techniques. Again, I've done another video for that, so please look out for that. And really importantly is you can start sequencing. You can start saying, right, okay, well, I can't do this unless that's done. So that's a dependency. You've just mapped a dependency, which is really useful stuff, and so on and so forth. Right, so once you've brought all of these in, you've included your team in all of this work. It's a case of moving it to Jira, which is what I'm going to be doing next. So yeah, stay with. Make sure you tune in for the next video. I'm going to be talking about how then this can add up in Jira, and how you can do things like assigning the user stories, creating the epics, assigning the user stories to the right people, and also estimation, how you can put all that stuff in. So we then come up with a backlog for the product. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe if you're enjoying this, and I'll see you soon. Take care.